Hi, y'all. It's me, Melissa. Hi, y'all. It's me, Melissa Wade in the water. And today I am so excited as we do a celebration of Black women. It's Women's History Month, and it's such a joy to recognize awesome women that are here and that we know and we can love and we can touch, and they are just a blessing to the entire community. So today we're recognizing women through what we call her story. And so today I have an awesome friend. I've known her for some time now, and I can truly say she is a woman of so many different talents and one of the smartest people I know. She is the Senior Vice President, Community Development Banking, the Carolinas, and she's also a PNC certified women's business advocate. When it comes to numbers, you better believe she can crunch them. All right, y'all, please help me welcome Miss Lori Jones Gibbs. How you doing?
Thank you, Melissa. I am delighted to be here with you. It's always a pleasure to be in your presence. Love your energy.
Absolutely love you back for. So as we get started, let our listeners, our viewers right now, tell us a little bit about you and your background.
Well, I am a young woman, I guess I'm still young, who grew up in very humble beginnings. I grew up in public housing in the state of Connecticut. And I always say that because people don't think that any public housing exists in Connecticut because they always saw Greenwich and Darien. Well, no, there are public housing complexes. I am one of 8 children. I am the second oldest, but I am the oldest female. So with that, I was always considered the second mother. I had parents who loved us, didn't have a lot of money, but loved us and actually told us if we didn't do anything to make sure we get a good education because people can strip you of anything but your intellectual powers. So to mom and dad, I thank them for that.
Talk about words of wisdom, bringing it on down. We
Hmm.
appreciate that. So, as women, even as African American women, we are known to be multitaskers. Can I say, get in
Yes.
with that? So, as a woman in leadership, how do you juggle what you have on a day to day basis, even as possible, Lori? How do you make it happen?
Well, Melissa, one of the things I always have tried to do is to start my day by prioritizing my day. And prioritizing my day also needs to be in line with my life and my beliefs. So in prioritizing my day, I I thank my God for yet another day. I then think about my family, and then I think about what I have to deliver for my employer. My reason for doing that is I'm a firm believer if we don't have a strong relationship with God or a strong religious foundation, then when we have challenges in our family, they become bigger challenges and sometimes problematic. And if we have problems within our family, we can't focus on our work. So I believe they go together. So with God, family, and work, then you deliver your best product to your employer. But the first two have to be in order.
Amen. Prioritizing is a big one. How do you decide for everything that you have on your plate? Once you have, gone before the face of God and say, Lord, look, here I am. Come on, let me do your will, take me to the next level. How do you decide in writing? I know I have what they call a yellow pad that I just kind of put
Mhm.
day by day what I need to do, one by one by one. How do you prioritize the things that you do on a day by day basis? And I know you have many things to.
I do. I have many things, but the first thing I do is I check in with my team. I need to know that my team is all right. I need to know that my team and their families are all right. I need to know if they're having any challenges, how I can help them. Because the team, I'm only as good as my team. Once I do that, I have a list of those deadlines that need to be fulfilled. I try to make sure I keep that yellow pad or a task book that says, if it's due Friday, Lori, get it done by Wednesday. That
Mm,
gives you enough time to go back and double check it. It also gives me enough time to check with others that may have some insight on something that we're working on together to make sure we're delivering the best product. So I'm a firm believer in not delivering at the day is due. I want it done at least 2 days before assignment is due. But I also think I keep an open door policy with my staff. So sometimes they may need my help to finish a project or something that they're working on. So prioritizing the day is important. But again, I'm very sensitive and focused on how my people are doing because they're the ones that help me excel.
do you find that getting an early start is beneficial to you?
I'm a morning person, and then I think I can sing, so that the two of them together gives me energy. I mean, I have a manager that would say to me, "Could you calm down? Your energy level is just a bit too high." Um, but I'm a firm. I really enjoy music, and I like to listen to positive music because it helps us my day. It gets my tone right for okay, what am I going to have to deal with today? So yeah,
Amen. So, Miss Lori, you have accomplished so much. How did you get to this point in your career? How did you get to this level? And we know it's not easy, especially for women, let alone being an African American woman, to climb the corporate ladder.
Melissa, in all honesty, I've been blessed, and I've been blessed early in my career. I learned things that were taught to me that I would have no idea. For example, I learned that I needed a board of directors. And I know that board of directors needed to be diverse. And that board of directors needed to consist of people who would be mentors, sponsors, peers, and friends. And they all have different roles. And understanding those different roles, they can help the trajectory of your career. Because a sponsor can do something for you that a mentor. A sponsor is generally a leader within the corporation that's at the table who pretty much have identified what we call in corporate America high pots, high potential, individuals who have high potential to be considered for jobs that are coming up. I'll never forget, I've been very blessed that I've been in a profession that has been dominated by white men who have been mentors of mine. I'll never forget, one told me, he said, Lori, I noticed when you go to the cafeteria, who do you eat with? And I told him, he said, well, I'm giving you a new assignment. He said, I'm not saying to stop having lunch with your friends, but you need to meet some of the other leaders in this company. He said, this is a leader, this is a leader. And so your job is for the next 5 weeks to go in that cafeteria and at least one day during that week to sit down. You see them, walk up to them and sit down and start having a conversation. He said, they need to know you. They need to get to know you. So when we're sitting around that table and I tee up your name, they know something about you and they're just not expecting what I'm saying. They can also say, well, I had this conversation with Lori, and then we start. Let them get to know you, get to know your character, get to know your capabilities, get to know your skill sets. You must build this network. It was the best advice I ever received. And he didn't have to give me that advice, but he did.
And you didn't hesitate. You didn't
Oh
hesitate.
no, I never hesitate. I'm a firm believer that you move forward and you do it courageously and you do it with confidence and competence. And if you slip, you ask the question to correct it or to improve it. And don't be afraid to make a mistake. A mistake doesn't necessarily kill your career. Acknowledging the mistake, I mean, Donnie McClurkin said, we fall down and we stand up. Well, you can fall down at work too, but you need to be able to make sure you're going to get back up and acknowledge what mistake you made and correct it and move forward.
My sister, I love it. On top of that, I mean, you're already giving us so much great advice, y'all. I hope y'all are getting this, okay? What advice would you give? I mean, you're saying, hey, you go to lunch and you just sit down and you start opening up to these people, the other bosses that are around you. How and what advice would you give to Black women as it relates to showing up and showing their authentic selves in corporate America?
That's an excellent question. I think it's very important that we first know who we are and where we come from, and that we not shy away from that record. There are so many who, once we get to a certain level, will never say to you, like I just said to you, I grew up in public housing. It is all I am is who all I have been in order to get to where I'm going to go. So you can't forget from whence you come, because if you want to suppress a record, then you may be suppressing a true part of your authenticity. I think when you're hired, companies hire you for your talent, your knowledge, and your ability to help the company or organization grow the bottom line. I look at my daughter who's in corporate America, and I look at the career opportunities she had that I didn't have. But she always says to me, well, my having a mother that's been in corporate America, you taught me some things that you had to learn. But one of the things that I know for sure is that the younger women are much more comfortable with being their authentic self, especially when it gets to our hair. You know, and when it gets to our hair, it is less of an issue for the younger women. They have embraced their true, authentic hair, from whether we are wearing it natural, putting braids in it, or wearing it pressed and straightened. I think that is part of who we are. But I also think, as a black woman, you must continue to speak up. You must continue to learn. You have to learn. You have to embrace continuing education within the job. You must make sure when the company has development programs that you're participating in. One of the things I often say to young people is know the company DNA. Every year, a company comes out with different goals and objectives, but they also come out with overall company initiatives. Know what they are. Make sure you master them. And make sure you don't have to do them all, but make sure you know what the company DNA is. If you work for a company that is about finances, is about empowering people, what area of finance is your expertise? Are you an investment banker? Are you a commercial banker? Are you a consumer banker? Are you a retail banker? Are you know what is expected in that area that you want to grow yourself?
I love
And
it.
identify. Sometimes you have to take the lead and identify yourself a mentor. And sometimes you just simply do that by saying, hey, can I go to lunch with you? I'd like to go to lunch with you. Ask. He who asks shall receive.
We got to schedule lunch, Miss Lori. I love it. You mentioned your daughter being in corporate America and her even telling you that she had an advantage because of what you've gone through. You've kind of given it to her. So what about the other women that are coming up, other African American women, women just in general, who want to be in that leadership? And you know, now that you've made it where you are, what do you do? What are you doing to help support those other women who are trying to make it where you are?
Well, I'm a firm believer into whom much is given, much is required.
Yes.
So I think I am responsible for reaching back and uplifting and helping to guide and direct. I don't mind sharing my successes, my setbacks, and I think you have to be true and honest to young people. But I also think if you see them steering or doing or saying something wrong, that you pull them to the side and don't make a public publicity out of it and say, I just want to share with you. This is how I interpret that. What did you mean? Put it in the form of the question. They generally know. I mean, I've been learning lately, I'm on Facebook sometime, and some of the things that I see on some of the young people's Facebook page, I call them. I was talking to one today. She said, Mrs. Gibbs, she said, once you called me that time and you asked me, why did I have that on my Facebook page? And that was not representative of who I am. I had become so conscious of what I put on Facebook now. And she said, I really, first, I was a little perturbed and upset, but the way you approached me let me know that you were really looking out for me. So I really think not only in a career, we must always reach back and we must also listen and learn from our young. The one thing I love about the millennials is they think totally differently. They're
Yes.
very creative. And, so I have this philosophy, which I think I get along with a lot of them because I say, just because my generation did it one way doesn't mean it's the best way. What's your suggestion? And you'll be amazed what kind of conversation happens. And oftentimes it may be a combination of both thoughts. But if you don't explore what their intellectual power is, you may be missing out on a great opportunity for your company. You have to get some of them to open up, be willing to share, come out of their shell because they're bright, they're smart. But then you also have to be willing to say, hey, now I don't think that was really appropriate. I didn't call you out in a public forum, but I'm calling you, I'm texting you, give me a call, we need to talk. Because sometimes you still can't make certain types of mistakes.
You're right. You're right. And you've learned that through your wisdom and
Right,
incorporate that with their talent and their,
right,
usefulness. It brings a winning combination. Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Absolutely great. Well,
Mhm.
Miss Lori Jones Gibbs, my friend, my leader, one of our awesome women. This is her story, and we appreciate you hanging out with us this evening. And before you go, are there anything else that you would like to share with our women on this Women's History Month?
Well, Melissa, I would say, as Lori Jones Gibbs, one of the questions that people always ask, but what would you tell your 20-year-old self?
Good.
And
Yes.
that's a question that really comes to me when I think of it. I would tell them to never self eliminate, never say no to yourself. Because when you say no to yourself, you're shutting the door of opportunity. But when you get the opportunity and the yes is given to you, you walk through that door, you make sure you are prepared, you make sure you participate, you make sure you perform, and you do it with energy, excellence, and execution. But never, ever self eliminate.
Woo.
That's what I would say, Melissa.
Don't box me in.
That's right.
I love it. I love it. Miss Lori Jones Gibbs, again, thank you so much. Really quick before you leave, because I heard you say something about you were on social media, and I think after this, right now, you've probably gained some fans. So, how do we follow you on social media?
Pardon me, I didn't hear you.
How do we follow you on social?
Oh, it's my name, Lori Jones Gibbs on Facebook. Just send me an invite. And I'll be happy to accept you. I always do so. I think I learned a lot by following people on Facebook. There's a lot. I use social media for the positives. I don't engage in the negative.
Amen. Same here. Same here. We'll continue. I know you will continue to just encourage those young that are coming up. Thank you for sharing your story. Women's History Month. This is her story. Miss Lori Jones Gibbs. Thank you once again for blessing us and being with us.
And thank you so much for the opportunity. And have a great day and blessed day.
You too.
All right. Bye bye.